breaking news coming in now on the Uttar Pradesh Madrassa survey. Report on the survey has been submitted to Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. The interim survey report has been submitted to the UP state government, and 6,502 unrecognized madrasas have been surveyed. The interim report now submitted to the UP government. And Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, on this story. Abhishek, it's over to you.
Well, Rukma, so about 6,500 plus madrasas functioning found to be not recognized, not registered, and hence illegal. The next step would be that the district administration would be asking them to follow due process and register. It's not that they are going to be shut down immediately. Maximum number of them, 500 plus, have been found in Moradabad, and then subsequently other districts, second highest, I believe, in Bijnor, mostly concentrated in the western Uttar Pradesh belt, and some in the eastern UP part. But what is important is that the entire exercise was sought to be clouded in communal colors, which was never the intention, never the scope. The only idea was that since the madrasas are so many in number, there should be some element of oversight, and hence it should be registered in this survey, the primary report of which has been submitted. Interim report, I would say, and then the process is going to be completed by the end of this month. They have found that many of these madrasas were 5-10 student madrasas working from homes and working from residential complexes, not necessarily from mosques. And there was absolute no regulation of curriculum, no regulation of content, no regulation of time and pedagogy. So I think once complete report is submitted by the end of the month, the government will take the next step. But as of now, when this interim report has been submitted and found that about 6,500 plus madrasas are illegal in the sense that they are not registered, the district administrations would be asking them to register with their respective authorities, the Govt board, whatever process that is, insofar as regulating the madrasas. Madrasa board is there, so they would have to register there. And then subsequent to the final report and the analysis of that, the government would come out with a policy on how to regulate the overall madrasa curriculum, pedagogy and everything.
Right, Abhishek, stay with us. We'll be coming back to you. Right now joining us is Anila Singh on the phone line. Madam, when we talk about the fact that more than 6,000 madrasas that are unrecognized have been discovered, and that's what the interim survey report says. Your reactions?
My Ram to everyone, and this is the reality. And Yogi government knew about it. So that is why we started survey, so that actual report can be digged out. And the reality is more than 6,000 madrasas are unrecognized. Many of them, they were taking all sort of facilities and funding from the government on papers only. So it was a necessary drill or exercise. And above all, it was very, very necessary to know that what type of education children are getting. So this is a scam which was going on from previous governments. These political parties who are deep into appeasement, they never tried to check whether madrasas are on paper, whether madrasas are recognized one, whether madrasas are giving proper education to the children or not. But Yogi government did it. So this shows strong political willpower and the direction where Yogi wants Uttar Pradesh to go. So each and every child living in our state should be well educated, and no scams are allowed in this state at least. So many things are getting revealed, and in future also many things will be revealed as well.
Anila ji, our senior executive editor says that according to the report, according to the interim survey report, the content in these madrasas is totally unregulated. But it remains to be seen what the content is unregulated. So that's what unrecognized means. That's what we are telling our viewers. But when we talk about the next steps that can be taken for the sake of the education of the many children perhaps who go to these schools, what would you say tentatively they could be?
See, if you talk about the madrasas, they have to get themselves regulated. They have to follow the curriculum. Everything is there black and white. So if they are just going to follow the gray area, it won't be allowed. So just the white thing is give proper atmosphere, education. You have to follow all rules and regulations. That they have to do it. So even if they are going to play a victim card, and there are many political parties who stand as their advocates, it is not going to solve anything. In UP at least, madrasas, they have to become the core point of education. Education means proper science, math, social sciences, everything, so that a child can be well educated and in future he or she can be part of mainstream. But if something else will be taught there, then definitely it won't be tolerated.
Many thanks, Anilaji, for joining us there and sharing your thoughts on this. Going back once again to our senior editor, Abhishek Kapoor. Abhishek, well, we just heard what the BJP has to say regarding this. Anilaji says it was a necessary exercise. But is it a scam, or was it just negligence over these years that, they've allowed to be flourished? Also, the fact that they're mostly found in a place like Muradabad, for example, maximum of them. Does that tell us something?
Well, since you mentioned Muradabad, I can tell you the district-wise distribution insofar as numbers go. To be precise, 585 from Muradabad, which is the highest. Second is Bijnor, which has 450, both in western UP. Then you have eastern UP districts of Basti reporting 401 madrasas, Gonda reporting 281 madrasas, and Devariya reporting 271 madrasas, which have been found to be unrecognized and not within the ambit of some kind of oversight by the Madrassa board. We believe that based on this input, district administrations of these districts and others, they have been asked that these madrasas should register at the earliest with the Madrassa board, and a meeting would be called. A committee would be set up, in fact, of members of all the madrasas to cooperate and get due process going for these unregistered madrasas. Now, by itself, there is no alarm. The only concern was that the administrations have told in the interim report that many of these madrasas are running in ramshackle, rundown buildings, sometimes in homes, and sometimes they are running from somebody's drawing room, somebody's bedroom, things like that. So there has to be some kind of regulation and standardization that has to take place. And remember, Rukma, we are as of now talking about just interim report which highlights the fact of 6,500 plus madrasas being unrecognized. Insofar as the recognized and regular madrasas go, even the survey includes, for example, the standard of education among them as well. It's possible that they are recognized in some way, but they are still following some aspects of the curriculum which are not approved or which might not be in the best interest of the society and the religion, in fact. So all that analysis would go on, and the government would be setting up a committee once the final report is submitted by the end of this month. But based on this interim report, the authorities have come to know at least of the fact that 6,500 plus madrasas exist which were not recognized. The process of due recognition for them would go on now. They would be asked, the local district committees would be taking care of that, and there would be representation from the members of the Madrassa board on it, and they would be brought in some kind of supervision, some kind of oversight. But as I said, this is just a beginning. Remember when this decision was announced by the Yogi government a month and a half back, there was such a brouhaha, and it was believed that this is aimed at targeting a community, which is not the case. This is just about a standardization of education through the Madrassa board, and that process is going to go on now with the for submission of final report by the end of the month, Rukma.
Right. Many thanks, Abhishek, for joining us there. So it's the beginning of a mammoth exercise. The interim survey report on UP Madrassa submitted